Hello, everyone. Welcome to the California Department of Transportation CT Career Connections. This is our fourth session. Together, we can engineer the future of California. My name is Megan, and I'm a recruitment analyst here at Caltrans, California Department of Transportation. I have been with Caltrans now for a little bit over a year. My 1 year was in March. And I graduated with a bachelor's in anthropology from California State University, Sacramento in 2020. Kate?
Hey everyone, my name is Kate Soyseth, and I have been with Caltrans since December of 2023. I've worked in human resources for about 15 years, doing lots of different things for different government agencies. And way back in the day, I went to a tiny liberal arts university in Texas where I majored in art and I minored in classics.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Kate. Today's meeting is being recorded, and we will have a recording for you after if you would like a copy. Please refrain from asking questions until we open up Q&A at the end. We also have a subject matter expert today, Dylan. Dylan, will you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dylan Robertson. I'm a transportation engineer in design. I've been with Caltrans for 5 years. I completed my bachelor's degree in 2016 at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Awesome. Thank you, Dylan. On our agenda today, we'll talk a little bit about our department, who we are, what we do, and the opportunities we have to offer in transportation engineering. Dylan will give us some insight on his position, how he got started with Caltrans, and some cool projects he's worked on. We'll then get into some details regarding our benefits, transportation engineering, positions, and how to apply to them. And finally, we'll finish up with that round of Q&A where you can ask any and all questions. Just please hold off till the end. Our team will be placing helpful links in the chat as we go through the presentation, and the session is being recorded. So again, if you would like a copy, just please let us know, and we will provide one to you. And with that, we'll begin our sessions today with a quick video on what our department is all about. Okay, one moment, I will share a different link.
Ready to embark on a career that combines technology, innovation, and a positive impact on the environment and community? Look no further than Caltrans, the California Department of Transportation. Join us as we explore some of the state-of-the-art technologies that we are incorporating into our projects to engineer the future of transportation. Safety is our top priority. We believe that using drones is a game changer in ensuring safer roads for everyone. Surveying hazardous areas, inspecting bridges and tunnels, and assessing road conditions without putting workers at unnecessary risk is a great advantage. The first departments of transportation in the nation to utilize this equipment. With over 100 trained drone pilots statewide, we are revolutionizing the way we utilize technology, allowing us to make informed decisions that lead to improved safety measures and faster response times. Piloting the use of augmented reality helps us to visualize a new roadway, structure, utility, or feature in the actual dimensional space upon which it will be built. We're work zone ready with well-equipped lighting on hard hats, ensuring the visibility of our field workers is not compromised and giving us the ability to assess work sites at all hours of the day. We aim to provide a safe and reliable transportation network that serves all people and respects the environment while honoring our values of engagement, equity, innovation, integrity, and pride. Path to start your career. Do yourself a favor. Come and join us. You would make us better.
Awesome. Share. Can you guys see my screen again?
No, not right now, Megan.
Thank you for letting me know, Kate.
Yeah.
Caltrans is split up into 12 districts. Our department starts from the northern Oregon border, stretching all the way down to where Mexico begins. Using the chat box, please let us know what district you're most interested in working in. And again, using that chat box, we got 12 districts to pick from. Which one are you most interested in potentially working in?
I see Dylan. I see a couple fives.
Okay.
District 3, 10, 7, 4, 7. Lots
Okay,
of good
so I'm
ones.
seeing some coastal districts for sure. Dylan, you work out of District 5, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. District 5 based out of San Luis Obispo.
Awesome. Have you ever worked in any other districts, or are you from anywhere else?
I had a student assistant and internship out of HQ in Sacramento over a summer when I was in college.
Oh, nice. Over in Kate's neck of the woods, District 3. Fun little fact. So California's headquarters in D3 has the most employees with over 5,000 workers. This is followed by District 4 in the Bay Area and District 7 in the LA area with a little bit over 2,500 workers each. So our department's mission is to provide a safe and reliable transportation network that serves all people, also while respecting the environment. Our vision is a brighter future for all through We also aim to advance equity and livability in all communities by adopting new approaches focused on collaborative community and partner engagement, while measuring impacts on public health, community vibrancy, while also prioritizing and investing in historically harmed and segmented communities. Now, I would like to turn this over to Dylan, who will discuss his time here at Caltrans. Dylan, are you ready to answer some questions?
I am.
Awesome. All right. First, let's just start with it. What made you choose Caltrans?
After I graduated, I was looking at civil engineering positions around, and I saw one that was available in San Luis Obispo. So I'm working for Caltrans. It might sound kind of cheesy, but I've always really liked the idea of serving the people in the state that I love so much. Caltrans was an easy choice for me.
Awesome. Awesome. And please discuss your experience with our rotation program.
In design. It was an amazing process. I got to meet a lot of different engineers and work with all the different units, getting a wide range of experience. Some of the biggest takeaways for me personally was the depth of what a transportation engineer can do at Caltrans. If you like working in the field 100% of the time, there's spots for you. If you like walking in creeks or doing surveys or interacting with local agencies, transportation engineers have a ton of availability or positions available, and you can always find your little sweet spot. And the rotation program enables you to kind of see what's out there and see what all these other engineers do. And then for me personally, I got to rotate into design. And then once I was in, I went, oh, this is the spot for me. And I was able to apply for design position and move into it. So yeah, it's a great program, and I'm really grateful for it.
Awesome. And then may I ask, what is it about design that just sparks your interest? Have you always had that interest, or did it really spark during that rotation program?
Part of it was, I think, this idea of like kind of coordinating and leading projects. So as a designer, I do a lot of the roadway designs myself, horizontal and vertical alignments and all the stuff we learn in our schooling. But I really like the idea of leading this team. And so I get to kind of coordinate all my different specialists and kind of deliver this beautiful project. So it's like a little puzzle for me. So I really like have all these different pieces. How can I rearrange them to make this work in a given timeline and budget?
Awesome. That's really cool to hear that you were able to find your niche through that rotation program and really find a job that meets it. So can you share about any projects, maybe past or present, that you've worked on and that you're proud of?
Yeah, absolutely. I have quite a wide range on projects. When I was originally hired in, I was working on Highway 101 in King City, and it was a big construction project, doing complete structural section. Really cool to see, all the heavy machinery, all the heavy civil stuff, bridge widening, incredible. But the project I'm most proud of is one that I do while I switched into design, and that is part of the Clean California program, which helps serve underserved communities across the state. And so mine in particular was in the town of Oceano, which is in southern San Luis Obispo County, along Highway 1. I actually got to design a small community plaza right off of Highway 1. And so I really liked this, and I was attracted to it because so often when we think of Caltrans, we think of the giant mega freeways we do. But in reality, we do so much more. And the idea of giving back to the community and designing this cool little plaza where they can have, holiday fairs or craft fairs or farmers markets, concerts, whatever they choose to do, and really giving back to the community was really fun. I got to work hand in hand with a few landscape architects, and we made this beautiful small plaza, which is currently in construction now and should be finished by the end of the summer. Yeah, I've worked on really, really big projects and also some rather small ones. And so, yeah, I think that's my favorite is the Clean California Oceano Community Plaza.
That's awesome. It's like all encompassing of Caltrans vision in one project right there, right? Improving livability for all communities, especially those who are historically harmed, and that's really cool. Thank you for sharing. When that project gets done, maybe we'll do a little segment on it. That'd be cool to see.
That would be fun.
You could walk us through how you planned it all. Okay, and then last question is, what would you like to share with new grads looking for a career with Caltrans?
Well, first, just information to share with new grads in general is start your licensing process as soon as you can. After maybe your third year at college, look into taking the FE exam, Fundamentals of Engineering, to obtain your engineering training certificate. That'll really open up a lot of career opportunities with you, whether that's Caltrans or elsewhere. Same goes for your PE, your professional engineering license. Start that process as soon as you can. There's a bunch of different tests you need to take, and the further removed you are from school, the harder it is. No one wants to reteach themselves, some of the fundamental engineering courses once you're, 5 years out of school. So that's just like kind of some general advice I'd like to give is if you're serious about your licensing, get it started earlier and you'll see a lot more doors open for you. Particularly with Caltrans, one of the things that attracted me to Caltrans was our training and mentorship. And so if you come in, for example, during my time in school, I was water resources and environmental. That was my jam. I took every water class I could and I loved it. So when I initially applied to Caltrans, it was a little daunting because I'm a transportation engineer now doing mostly roadway design. But that's what's so special about Caltrans. I came in with a different specialty, but through our training and mentorship, they were able to bring me up to speed. They taught me all the design software I needed to know and that kind of thing. So in general, I'd say don't be scared. We'll teach you everything we need. We're just looking for, bright young minds ready to learn and work on some really cool projects. The one downside to Caltrans is sometimes the application process can be a little slow. It took me just under 6 months from submitting application to, getting in a chair. So although sometimes it can take a long time, stick with it. You can check in with your hiring supervisor, HR rep, or senior if you know who they are. But yeah, stick with it, wait, because it's well worth the wait there.
Absolutely. And we'll go over that a little bit more in detail later about, the state application process. But do you remember how long it took you to get in from the time you started applying?
Like I said, I think maybe 5 months, 4.5 months, somewhere shy of 6, right around there. It was, the better part of the summer. I got interviewed and that was good. And I guess I could have started a little sooner, but they let you choose your specific start date. And so I wanted an extra month. So, several months is what it's going to take for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. I think my application process also took about 4 months. And it was a weird situation, but looking back now, I'm so happy I stuck with it. So I'm glad you did too.
I'd like to give one more advice on the application process. If it asks you for something, do it exactly as it says. If it asks for a statement of qualifications, you give them the 1 page, you do the same font they say, the same text size, everything. The applications are very standardized. Check every box, double check, make sure you hit it all, because when they say they want something, they mean it. And so just make sure you follow that application thoroughly.
Yep. And we'll harp on that a little bit more later. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you. All right. So now we're going to get into what the department offers in terms of benefits and why you would want to apply for us. The state of California offers great medical, dental, vision, retirement benefits. We have really good work-life balance for our employees, along with a multitude of other career opportunities, such as mentorship and leadership training, a lot of which Dylan talked about. We aim to create leaders, provide employees with necessary knowledge to carry out their work confidently. That's that on-the-job training and rotation program. We have employee advancements everywhere. Kate is going to drop the link to the CalHR salary and benefits page for your viewing if you'd like more information about this. The state also offers student loan forgiveness through the U.S. Department of Education. There are some requirements, but for more information on eligibility requirements, please see the link that Kate is also going to be putting in the chat box. So here we have our different steps with our transportation engineering classification. Range A is considered entry level, with the minimum qualifications being a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from an ABET accredited college, or for those whose degree is not in civil engineering, an EIT will be accepted as well. This shows that in order to get to range D, a PE or professionals engineer's license is required. If you're a current transportation engineer in our department, Caltrans will help cover the costs of licensing. If not, it's something to know when you come in that you start at range A, there is employee advancement, and Caltrans wants you to get to range D. So we're going to help you get that PE. Let's say you've hit range D and you've been there for a little bit of time and you want to further your career. We have senior and supervising engineering positions available for our employees to advance into. As previously mentioned, we aim to create leaders and encourage all of our employees to progress. So we've talked about it a little bit, but you might be asking, how do I apply? So most important is the only way to apply to Caltrans or any other state agency is through the CalCareers website. There is a 3-step process to help you apply. You create an account, you find that transportation engineer civil examination, and you take it online, and then you start applying. That is a really simplified version of what you're going to have to do. For all Caltrans positions, please see the CalCareers link that Kate is including in the chat. It will show all of our current available positions. We understand that the application process can be tricky. And because of this, we have created a new career compass guide. This guide is an all-encompassing look at the application process, and it breaks it down step by step. Kate will also provide a link for you guys. It's a look at the process step by step. And like Dylan was saying, on the statement of qualifications, if it says 1-inch margins, 12-point font, one single page, and these 3 questions, make sure to follow it to a T. And in the Career Compass Guide, we explain this further, and there's little question mark bubbles that you can click on and be like, well, why? And it will show you these parts of the application that you really need to pay attention to. One last question for everybody before we jump into that Q&A session. Caltrans bridge inspectors are responsible for maintaining the safety integrity of bridges owned by the state of California, as well as other government local agencies. How many bridges do you think this encompasses? So how many bridges do you think the Department of Transportation is responsible for maintaining on a yearly basis? And I have a hint for you. It is more than 10,000 and less than 50,000. So if you guys could please put your guesses in the chat, we'd appreciate it. Dylan, do you know? Do you have any guesses?
I think I have an idea. I don't want any spoilers, but I think I have a rough idea.
Okay. So Kate, what are you seeing in there?
I see 37,000, 33,000, 25,000, 10,001, which is the little Price is Right
Answer.
30,000. I think if I had to guess, I'd guess 16,000. And I promise I don't know what the answer is.
Okay, so Caltrans is responsible for maintaining the safety integrity of 26,000 bridges in the state of California. Yeah. Dylan, were you close?
Yeah, I was gonna say 20 to 25,000. So
Okay. Yeah, you're in the
So
range.
Victor is the winner.
What
He
do you
gets
guess?
bragging rights. Yeah. 25,000, he guessed.
Oh, yep. Okay. So before we start the Q&A, if you have a question but you need to leave, please email us at this askrecruitment@dot.ca.gov. That goes directly to Kate's and I's recruitment team, and somebody will get back to you. And again, it doesn't have to be necessarily about civil engineering or this presentation. It could be any questions you have about the application process. But again, if you have questions right now, it is Q&A. So please start asking away. They could be questions for Dylan that are more civil engineering based, or recruitment questions for Kate and I.
I'll let you know once we have some.
Yeah, ask away, everyone.
Someone has a burning question, you can be first in line. Question earlier, which we can sort of maybe. Oh, here's a question for Dylan. What is the intersection between the work of planners and engineers? How would you differentiate the work between the two?
Great question. So yeah, I work on the engineering side, but from my perspective, planners bring the project to light, and then I make the project happen. So they might be writing grants and scooping up money and getting federal money. They might be getting city money, and then they do the initial planning. They do like the long-term route transportation concepts. What's our 5-year plan? What's our 10-year plan? What's the 50-year plan? And so they kind of work on the like conceptual, bigger picture of what things are, as well as like the behind the scenes stuff, like I said, like trying to get the money and get everything processed. And then on my end is they hand me this thing, hey, here's this much money, here's the timeline in which we want it done, and here's the approximate scope of work. Maybe fix this 10 miles of freeway, or maybe replace this bridge, or the cool complete streets projects. And then I work with my team and all the other support units, all the specialists, the geotech, the hydraulics, and then we deliver the project. So yeah, there's a lot of intersection. I work with planners regularly. I ask them a lot of questions about, kind of what vision they want me to bring into reality. Because what I do is, I'm an engineer. I do calculations and quantities and hard design, whereas they have that bigger picture vision, I would.
That was a great question.
And then Trevor would like to know, what does the day-to-day look like as far as work and tasks go?
That's a great question. I get asked that all the time at my career fairs. Day to day, it's going to vary based on your position, of course. So I can only give you my experience. But as a designer, we kind of have two roles. And one is, like I mentioned earlier, like real design work. Our design software is MicroStation and AutoCAD Civil 3D. And I'll spend about half my time in those two softwares, with, of course, some Excel sprinkled in there, doing real design work, whether that's curb ramps or roads, striping, alignments, everything you could think of that a freeway would need. I'm doing that design. So that's about half my time. And then the other half of my time is spent kind of as a coordinator. Designers are often the focal point of a much larger team. So I take input, as I've mentioned before, from all the specialists. So I might get, like I said, from the planners, they'll hand me a project idea. I'll start working on it. And then I'll contact the structures team. Hey, structures team, how are we going to build this bridge? And then the structures engineers will give me an idea. Then I'll bring that to my geotech guys and I'll say, hey, geotech, is the soil good enough here? Can we do this? Is it viable? And then so I kind of coordinate all these different specialists and use their input and their expertise to deliver a final product. So, like I said, about 50% doing, hard design, and 50%, which is coordinating. It might be meetings and emails, memos, reports, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Sounds like a full day.
I have a question from someone that says, I'm graduating with an electrical engineering degree. What are some of the projects or work I can be involved with?
That's a great question. So, transportation engineer, parentheses, electrical. I'm parentheses, civil. So we are very similar as far as, the hiring process, the pay ranges, all that. I can only speak to what I see from electrical engineering. And so that would be, I'm working on a pedestrian intersection. Maybe it's a complete streets project. Maybe it's some ADA work. And I might have an ADA ramp and there's an electrical pole, it'll be a signal pole where you press the button to walk. And so that's way outside of my realm of expertise. So I would hand my preliminary design to the electrical engineer and say, hey, I'm looking to, update this pedestrian intersection. How can we make this work together? And so the plans that they deliver to me are, plan sheets with electrical diagrams, wiring diagrams, all the conduit and pole boxes, they're planning that. I think that's a lot of the work. Currently, Caltrans is involved in a really cool project called Broadband Middle Mile, where we're trying to get broadband internet to a lot of the underserved communities. And so I think there's a lot of electrical engineering work in there. We're going to be running thousands of miles of conduit all over the state. Um, so yeah, what kind of projects can you work on? Well, electrical engineers are going to be doing a little bit of every project. We have electrical infrastructure really everywhere. So I think you'll be involved on really small projects like my community plaza. We're putting up like a little billboard. We have lighting bollards and that kind of thing, all the way to the giant projects, the Highway 41, 46 realignment. It's one of the bigger projects in our district. Tons of electrical work there too. So really any project Caltrans does, electrical engineers will be working on them as well.
Yeah, and one of our previous subject matter experts, Brandon Avizo, out of headquarters here in Sacramento, he currently works at the our METS lab. It's our testing facility. But when we asked him that question, he had worked on the signs on freeways that tell you 15 minutes until you can get to the airport, or even during the holidays saying don't drink and drive. He was a part of testing those when they first started coming out and then installing them. So that's something that electrical engineer can do. Another project he said he was working on was on the Bay Bridge. They install these giant lights that they don't show shadow and they don't show any glare. So it's really safe for you as a driver driving through them. If you look at them, it's not a bright light in your eyes. It's not going to blind you, but it's still providing light for the bridge. And it was just so cool. And we actually, Kate and I went on a tour a few months ago where we got to see an example of that light in their lab. So as an electrical engineer, that's also some projects that I know that they work on. Do we have any other questions?
That's it for question. Oh, hold on. Okay, I have a two-part question. How would one find a career in transit systems, for example, buses, trains, multimodal, and what might that career look like? Is it someone's specific position or more of a task for everyone to consider?
Another great question.
I believe that might be our transportation planning classification. Looking at different ways to make California more accessible. But Caltrans isn't necessarily going to be like the BART system or the high-speed rail. Those are going to be other local authorities or other state agencies. But if you're interested in transportation and you're interested in planning different modes of transportation, I would highly suggest looking at our planning. And then did you have anything to say on that, Dylan?
Yeah, I was just going to mention the same thing, that I think that's more of a planning, but I will mention that Caltrans in general is moving towards working with all these communities and agencies on their multimodal. If a small community wants to put in a bus stop or a train station or anything like we are all on board and we do what we can to help them and, kind of incorporate their plan into our larger plan. And so while I specifically don't get to do buses, trains, planes, any of the cool multimodal stuff, I do interface with a lot of local agencies and kind of help bring their dreams into reality as well. So I think that's kind of cool. And then in particular, the compute streets stuff we do is amazing. We're all about pedestrian and bikes these days, and we're kind of redoing a lot of downtowns that have highways through them, making them a lot more bike and pedestrian friendly. And so it's kind of essential to that question.
Awesome. Well, if we don't have any more questions.
We don't.
Okay. This marks the end of today's CT Career Connection. And thank you for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.